Hello, how is everybody? Today is January the 24th, 2024. So 1/24/24. I thought that was kind of cool. The double digit pattern there of 24. What's the weather like today? Today is 1 Celsius. And if you think this time last week, it was -22 Celsius. So it just shows you how the weather keeps changing all the time. So 1 Celsius in Toronto would be 34 Fahrenheit. So it's a little warmer. Right now it's raining out. It looks like it could be freezing rain. I'm not quite sure what's happening out there. We'll have to see what's happening. Hi, Ashley. How are you? I'm just chatting about the weather. So today here it's 1 Celsius or 34 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just crazy because last week was like -22. I don't know if you're having real big fluctuations in your temperature too where you are. Hi, Jacqueline. How are you? How's your weather there? My weather's really bonkers. Hi, Kelly. How are you? It's supposed to be like, I forget what day, Thursday? I think it's supposed to be 6 degrees Celsius, which is, I don't know, I think like the high, it's got to be, I don't know what that is, the 40s in the middle of the end of January. It's just crazy. Yeah, raining. We've got lots of rain here too. Yeah, for sure. I'm just worried about I don't like when the rain freezes. There's something about black ice that is just terrifying to me. I had one incident with black ice and I've never forgotten it. Hi, Jane. How are you? Thank you for joining me. I hope everyone's doing well. It's Wednesday already. Kelly, I'm on the other side of the lake in Ohio. Oh my goodness. Jackie, good evening. Cold and rainy here. Good. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, so I'm open to answering any questions about mediumship or any other metaphysical topic you have. I can tell you that it's the full moon in Leo tomorrow, and I had a terrible sleep last night. I barely slept last night, so I don't know if anyone's noticing any changes coming up already with the full moon coming. So I find it affects me a great deal already. As I was just kind of preparing my room for this evening, I was pulling up my blinds and I was putting all my crystals on the ledge so they can get recharged during the full moon tomorrow. Jane, we had ice in St. Louis on Tuesday. Yeah, isn't it? I don't know what's going on. It's like you take everything, rainwear, snowwear, hailwear, like it can be just any kind of weather whatsoever. I just take everything, and you can go out and it can be raining and you can come home and it can be snowing or it can be freezing rain. So it's that motto. I was a Girl Guide, be prepared. So I'm always prepared for the weather. Just never know. I keep my fingers crossed because we just recently moved in October. I've never had a swimming pool. We have a swimming pool at this house. So I'm hoping it's going to be really warm weather starting like April in Toronto so we can get a lot of swimming in this spring and this summer and fall, I hope, and the fall. Does anybody have any questions about mediumship at all, or any comments? Or I'm open to answering any questions at all. Hi, Siobhan, how are you? Any questions at all? I'm trying to think of some things that I've been thinking about lately. I've been really thinking about the power of the word lately and how word has so much power and energy around it. So you have to be really careful about the words you choose to use and your self-talk and the words you speak to yourself. So words do create your reality. That's good. That's good. Nice to see you. Any questions at all? Don't be shy. I wrote a few reminders here about the full moon coming up. This is going to be the first full moon for 2024, and it's also called the wolf moon, which is kind of cool. So thinking about wolves and coyotes. Last night I took my dog out, maybe about 11:30 last night, and I'm like, what is that? And it sounded like dogs fighting. And I'm like, where's that noise coming from, like in the middle of the night? And then I realized it must have been the coyotes out in the forest area. So that made me a little nervous hearing that. Siobhan, I've been reading The Power of Now. Interesting. Yes. Yeah, definitely. Awesome book. Remembering to be in the current moment. Not just in the current, and be aware of what you're doing, what you're thinking, what your emotions are. It's just that kind of awareness, daily awareness is so important on your spiritual journey. Absolutely. Hi, Glinda. Hi, Alexandra. Yeah, that's an awesome book. I was reading a book, I don't know, it's about spiritual growth, which is quite interesting because I always like to get different people's takes on spiritual growth. And this author talks an awful lot about the light, the white light, which is interesting. So I'm starting to kind of integrate that into my own spiritual practice and just working with light more. And I do see that it does change things up a little bit for me. I find in your growth or your evolution, you always need something kind of to shake you up and try things a little differently so you don't get like stale or stagnant. So I thought, whoa, I think I was supposed to read this book. I bought it quite a long time ago, but I finally got to taking it off the shelf. Any other questions or comments right now? Oh yes, so I was talking about the full moon. So remember that the full moon's a time to kind of release things that no longer serve you. So it's a great time of letting go. Absolutely. Jackie said, what are angle numbers? What does it mean? Angle? Oh, angel numbers. Okay. Angel numbers they're specific numbers, and usually there's a pattern to them. Like a few weeks ago, I was getting things like 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And I was like, what? I was getting, so they're just messages from your angels, basically telling you if you're on track or you're not on track. There's some awesome websites. I like, I think her name's Joanna Scribes, and you can go to her website and she tells you all the different meanings of the different numbers, which are just awesome. So I find that very helpful. So if I wake up in the middle of the night, like I said, I see the number 2, 3, 4, I'm like 2, 3, 3, 3, and then I go back to sleep. And then as soon as I wake up, I write it down so I don't forget. Then I'll go and look it up to see what it means. How can you find out the name of your spirit guide? That's Jane's question. Well, that's interesting that you say that because I was just thinking about this yesterday. I'm trying to build a relationship, a connection with my healing guide. And I do know my healing guide's a female. I'm like, why am I obsessed about a name? Why do I need a name? Why is it so important? And then I would just sit in the silence and I would wait. I would ask, do you have a name you'd like to be called by? Is there a name that resonates with you? And then I just wait and see. But a lot of times, you know, guides will say, I don't need a name. It's what's comfortable with you. So if that does help you, the other thing I'll also do, and I did it yesterday actually, so I was in meditation and I could feel the essence of my healing guide. I could see her, and I'm a very visual person. So I just went on Google Images, and I know she's connected to nature, and she's like a kind of goddess figure. So I just went into Google Images and I just typed in goddess nature because I just wanted to find an image that was similar to the essence I felt and I saw of her. I couldn't really find something that was just like her, but I found something that was kind of similar. So I'm a very visual person. So for me, it's like I really need to see them. I need to see what are the color of their eyes, what's the color of their hair, what are they wearing. Things for me when I'm meeting a guide for the first time, those things are really important. And I think it's because your brain needs that to kind of feel comfortable and to be able to surrender and go with the whole experience. And I know a lot of people, they don't even have a name for their spirit guide. They don't see their spirit guide. Actually, what they see is like energy, a ball of energy, which is quite interesting too. Lynn, is a guide a person we may be related to, or are they an old soul? It all depends, because your guide picks you and they want to work with you and what you're learning on your journey. Myself, I find my grandmother pops in a lot, and my dad, but they're more helpers than particular guides. I find that guides are someone that have experience in the area that you're learning about on the earth plane, and that they've been assigned kind of to help you on your journey. It doesn't mean that that guide will be with you for your entire journey. They change as you evolve. I also know that I work with angels, not in my mediumship, but I have my own kind of practice that I do with angels. They do come and visit me and they give me messages. There's angels too that I do work with. And they're a guide in the sense, like, they inspire me, they uplift me. It's more of, with my angels, I would say more of kind of like a, I don't even know if I want to say soul connection, but it's a totally different connection with my angels in terms of guides. I hope that kind of answered the question. And in terms of old soul, yes, I would say that they have the wisdom, they have the expertise in order to support you on your journey. So for example, I'm a medium, I'm now doing teaching, I do platform work, I'm developing an interest in healing. So I know that I have now two guides, but my one guide has an expertise in some of those things, and now I have a healing guide coming in because that's her expertise. My original guide, master guide, whatever you would like to call him, doesn't have that expertise. So of course I would ask his permission about bringing in another guide to work kind of as a team. So right now I have a team of 2 working with me. To me, an old soul, okay, and I can give an example of this. For example, I would say my daughter, who's in her early 30s, I would say she's an old soul. And in that, you know, when you interact with them, they seem to have a presence about them, almost a sense of like calm, a sense of depth and wisdom that is way beyond their years. And usually I find these individuals, too, a lot of people are drawn to them for support, for their advice. So they've had, what would I say? I would say that they've had challenging past lives in which they've learned important lessons, and they're using that wisdom here now on the earth plane. I hope that makes sense. That's my interpretation of old soul. And again, you can add to that, and it would probably be an individual too who's had many lives, many more lives than maybe other souls. So that's where that sense of wisdom and that sense of purpose and alignment comes from. I hope that makes sense. Did that make sense, Jane? And I know my daughter has that. And I tell you, I'm a retired elementary school teacher, and I taught kindergarten a lot. And there'd be little ones in kindergarten. I'd go, whoa, I just knew that child was an old soul. I could just feel the energy, their interests in life, the way they would perceive the world was on a deeper level than other people. And you just know there's something about that child. And I just love to kind of keep in contact and see what they end up doing in the future, because it's almost like I could just feel into their energy at that young age. And I would just know what they were going to kind of do in life, what I felt they should be doing, what their gifts were. And I've met quite a few people like that. I've even met babies, like infants, and I'm like, what? I'll say to them, hello. And I'm thinking, I want to say, hello, new soul. In my head, I'm saying, hello, old soul. You've done this before, right? And I just welcome them in. But yeah, so that's kind of interesting about old souls. And then there's also like tribe souls, a family of souls that reincarnate to learn from one another here on the earth plane. And again, like you may have, you might meet someone and it's like, whoa, I feel like I've known you before, or I know why you're in my life because you're playing a really important role. Or there's all kinds of things there. It's that whole awareness of energy, awareness of the role people play in your life. And that all comes through, reflection also and being aware. Absolutely. So that's pretty cool. And I have a story. I might have shared this before. So in terms of like, soul tribes, like I'm positive I knew my brother in a past life because my connection with my brother, he still was so strong as a child. And he tells this story. My brother's now a priest. And when I forget what you call it when you become an official priest, but the family went to that ceremony, and in his talk at the luncheon, my brother said, I have to thank my sister Wendy. I'm like, oh my goodness, he's thanking me. What's he thanking me for? I had no idea he was going to say this in front of the congregation. And he said, if you remember when we were in elementary school, we went to a special religious event. You invited me to it. And he says, if you remember, on the way home, I saw that falling star. And he goes, and I knew this was something that I was going to do, something with religion. And I thought, isn't that fascinating? So my brother goes with religion, I go with the spiritual side of things. I just thought it's almost like two bookends, that he was that direction, I was that direction. I always thought that was really interesting. Glinda says, funny, my oldest son is exactly how you describe an old soul. His kindergarten teacher told me he would never amount to anything. You know what? Glinda, as soon as I hear they will never amount to anything, that's a guarantee they will. Because they're different, the way they perceive the world, the way they interact with the world. It's like they're coming with a special type of, I keep using the word awareness, but awareness and gifts and understanding. My son was the very same way also. And you can tell the way my son, how he interacts with like information, like the media, with people. He has a really, what's the word I want to say? Like an emotional depth to him that I've really never experienced in anyone else around me. And I always take that as a privilege to have been his mother. And I learned from him as much as I hope he learns from me. So it's a really important relationship to be able to have, a son like that, or any child whatsoever. Yeah, my son too, very successful. It's almost like he can read the, like he's ahead of the wave. That's what I wanted. It's like he's ahead of the wave. He knows the next thing. He knows what to do. He knows what his role is. It's just fascinating. Jane, do you believe we transition after we are done with our work here? You know what? I don't think we're ever done with our work here. I think it's a continual evolution, and we're never quite ever done. You know what? I really haven't thought about that a lot. But, I am getting older, so it does kind of come into my mind every once in a while. And I do feel that there's certain exit points that you can leave or not leave. I do feel that there's a kind of like a destined time when you're meant to go. Like in terms of ethics and mediumship, I've never really had a spirit tell me, or a guide when someone was going to pass, what age or anything like that. And if I did, I would never tell that to somebody. Yeah, so you know what? I just don't know about that. I don't know why I'm avoiding thinking about that. It's almost like I'm afraid I'm going to be told when, and I don't want to know when. What I am focusing on is my own growth and development, forgiveness, building relationships, following my divine purpose, making a difference in the world. So when it is my time, I just kind of go, what a great ride. I just go, and away I go. So that's kind of my goal. Young people transitioning. Yeah. It's very, I've done some reading on that, and I'm not quite sure myself with the transitioning of young people. My heart wants to say that they made a big difference on the earth plane when they were here, that they touched many people. And it's almost like when they transition, they go on the other side. It's like their love, their energy, their purpose. It's almost like it's just beginning. This sounds funny, but it almost sounds like it's kind of like the next level, or it's a different form of consciousness. And I don't want to say like it's an end. It's just a different kind of consciousness, a plane of, what do I want to say, existence in which they are being called to for some reason. They're almost like meant to be there. That's something else that I'm still figuring out in my head, how that works. I hope that helps in some way, Jane. And it's almost like I still have a lot to learn. I'm aware of that. And it's almost like when it's almost like when my heart's ready, it's also the same, kind of thing. Like I find it very emotional with babies that passed also and things like that. So that's definitely, I'll be asking my healing guide about that more, because I know that will be part of the healing knowledge that I'll be learning about, definitely, with younger ones passing. Jackie, can you tell me when it is someone's time when you read? I don't ask for that, and I really do not want that. That's not kind of my responsibility. But some mediums may get it by mistake. It just pops in, and I would hope they would stop that. Sometimes, have I ever had that? I might just have a feeling that maybe the person, go for a checkup, something like that. I would never want to scare anyone, and everyone always has free will. For me, my main focus, it's all about love and empowerment. If it's not empowering my sitter or giving them a sense of love and healing, there's really no space for that in my work. So, yeah, I don't really do things like that. I'm just trying to think of if I have any examples of that. I don't think I do have any examples of that. I remember one of my mentors did say to me that it was almost like by mistake. She said, it was relayed to me when I will pass what age. She never shared that with us. And she says, it's a bit of a burden. I wish I didn't know that. And I agree with her. I don't really see what's the the use of that, of knowing that. If you live to your full potential every single day and live from your heart, it's like that every single day. It should be like that every single day. I mean, my husband says to me all the time, you just don't know how much time you have. He says that to me every day. We're getting a little older, and almost every day, every couple days, my husband will say, oh, my friend just passed away. Oh, my friend just had a heart attack. Oh, you got to stop telling me this. So every day he comes and he tells me about this. And I know it's in the back of his mind because he recently had a stroke and he got 4 stents put in. So, yeah. And I think that's something, I truly believe this. And I think I may have mentioned I volunteered at a hospice at one time. I worked with children who had lost parents, siblings, grandparents. And I did that because I kept thinking, why are people running away from death all the time? It's like a natural progression. It's a natural cycle. It's part of the life cycle. Our souls are eternal. So I've been, I haven't really thought about this in a long time, but that was really what started to get me into mediumship, because I just want to understand more about where do we go when we transition? What is it all about? What does it mean? Alexandra, do you know if accidents are part of the soul's plan or our free will? I'm definitely leaning towards free will there. It definitely feels like free will. I mean, the soul plan could be something about, let me just think into this. I wonder if part of the soul plan would be that their exit would be, or their transition would be a little bit more unusual than the free will would be, how that would take place in some sense, if that makes sense. Glinda, once I complete my own grief counseling with hospice, I'm thinking, oh, that's so beautiful. Absolutely. And Glinda, just think of, what you've learned, your own wisdom, and you can share that with others. Absolutely. It's so important. And it was just lovely working with the children. I had thought at one time I would work with seniors, but I just thought, I don't know if I can do that and not be emotionally involved with people that are terminal. So, and then ironically, both my parents became terminal, and I interact and I worked with them. But everything I learned in all my training in hospice, I used with my parents. And of course, my guides helped me also. My guide helped me too, working with my parents. Lynn said, I'm not afraid of death, but I'm afraid of the possibility of a long, right, absolutely. And Lynn, again, I feel it's about, your spiritual journey, about your faith, about your understanding. It's about service. Because the more and more I do mediumship work and I integrate that into my practical day-to-day life, the more calm I feel and at peace. And that I know that I'm part of a bigger picture. There's lots that I do not understand yet, but I do have the faith, and I know what my role, my part is to play. And like my dad said to me, he said to me, it's all about love. And that's what I truly feel it is, making a difference, making a difference. And again, when I say of service, like service to your community, you have to remember how important it is also to be of service to yourself. And self-care is so important too. That's part of it. So the big umbrella of love, right? Love of community, the other, yourself, nature, everything. Yeah. And I find with the children too, acting out and things like that. So we would do activities with them. We would have speakers come in. We would do special events. We'd have pizza lunches. And it was just having that group circle for the children in which they could bond and communicate with others who are going through the same experience, having lost someone significant in their life. Yeah. Wow, Siobhan. Siobhan says, I've held many seniors' hands passing. Children would break my heart. Yeah, wow. Well, thank you for doing that. My goodness. Wow. That is absolutely extraordinary to be able to do that. I did have the experience with helping my dad transition, but I was doing it in a meditative state from distance. Yeah. And that was very, it was very grounding, and it's going to sound odd, but it was almost like freeing in a way. So I didn't feel like a victim. I felt like I was there. I was supporting my dad, and I kept telling him, you're going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. I'm going to take care of things. I'm here to support you. You know, I was just saying all these things in my meditation to my dad, just giving him that sense of love and support, knowing that he could let go and everything would be okay. And I really do think that did take place, because about, I don't know, maybe 25 minutes, actually in the middle of my meditation, the phone rang and my brother said, just to let you know, Dad just passed. I was like, holy camole, I was just with him in meditation there. So yeah, definitely. And the same, even with animals, being there with the animals, very important. Helping them in their transition too. And I've brought through lots of animals on the other side. They're with loved ones on the other side. They have their own kind of jobs and they're learning and what they're doing on the other side. Jessica, my greatest sadness is missing out on the chance to be there during that transition for my grandmother because of COVID. Yes, yeah. And that's what happened to me too with my dad. Because of COVID, they would only let 2 in the hospital. And it was just kind of like, okay, today's your day, today's your day. And it wasn't my day with my dad. So I went out of my way with this kind of meditation and just sending that energy to him and positive thoughts. COVID was so tough. It's just unbelievable having to go through that. My dad passed during COVID also. And then limiting, you know, how many people, well, it was only family members that could come to the church. So yeah, but at the funeral, because it was outdoors, more people could come as long as they kept their distance. Yeah. You know, and that was Jessica, right? And remember too, Jessica, sometimes our loved ones in spirit find it harder to leave when their loved ones are there. So you'll hear lots of stories where, you know, well, I know this, for example, my daughter's boyfriend, he was there every single day with his grandma. And he was like, as soon as I left to go get lunch, then she passed. It was almost like she needed to give you that, that space, I guess. Here's this space, so it was easier for you in some way. I always believe that it's for a reason. Jane, I was with my mom and son when they passed. Oh boy, yeah. Ashley, I was with a few of my loved ones when they passed, but 2 of them waited until I left. Yeah, absolutely. God bless you to be able to be with them when they transitioned. Wow. What a big heart. What a big heart you have. Glinda, yes, my dad waited for a brief time. He was alone. Ashley, yes, my cousin and I were with my pop. We finally decided to go to the restroom. And there you go. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And it was like my mom too. We were with my mom at the hospice, and the doctor said, it's going to be a while. I'd been with my sisters for a few days at my mom's house, which was not far from the hospice. And I said, what would you like to do? Should we stay? Do you want to come back to my place? We'll have a shower. We'll change your clothes. And we decided to come to my place, have a shower and change our clothes. And I was in the shower and I was like, something, I could just feel this leaving, this energy leaving. And I'm like, wow, I think my mom just passed. I didn't say anything to my sisters. I went to see my sisters. It was in the summertime. We were sitting in the backyard. The phone rang. I answered the phone. It was my brother. And he said, just to let you know, Mom just passed. So it's just interesting how that all works out and how it does. So I always, I'm always very positive, and I see the positiveness in that, right? I was at home, so it was more conducive to like a nurturing. I was aware she passed, so I didn't have to be there to see the actual physical passing. I felt her energy leaving, and I didn't have to make the journey from a far distance from the hospice all the way to my home, which would have been very difficult to make that drive. So I always look for, you know, kind of the positive, the love there. Lynn, let's see, Lynn, Jessica, I felt the same way when my dad, he wanted to go to hold his hand. Beautiful. Jessica, just before we received the call that she had passed, I watched a pair of cardinals land on the fence in front. There you go. And I knew that was her. Absolutely. So even if you're not there, I find in some way, it's so subtle, you get that sign that they've transitioned. Absolutely. Jackie said, I was with my husband when he took his last breath. Tomorrow will be a year. God bless you and your husband. Yeah. And I feel there's so much more yet to learn about death and the transition and how to support others. And I feel, you know, in the future, it'll be more, it's starting to happen with hospice and death doulas and all these things. It's starting to be more open and just a part of our life journey. That's what I want to say. So, and I feel it's going to continue to develop and change as people learn more about death, go on their own spiritual journey, connect with their loved ones in spirit, connect with their guides. So I know it's changing. It's changing. It's just like the area of healing and self-healing. There's so much more information coming out about, you know, our thoughts, our words, our actions, and self-healing. So, you know, it's just beginning. It's just beginning, the changes we're going to see. Kelly just mentioned, hi Sarah. Kelly mentioned when my love passed, although we were separated for some time and distance here days after, I felt him come back to me in spirit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I find that very often, I've had that experience too, when spirit passes, they'll actually kind of connect with their loved ones, maybe even a location that they really loved before they move on. Hi, Sammy. How are you? Yes. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Glinda. Very good point. And that's what it is. It's a celebration of life. And again, Spirit comes through to say, you know, I want you to let go of the grief. I want you to stop thinking about how I passed. I want you to live your life, remember how our relationship and how things are. That's what I want you to remember. That's what's important. Absolutely. It is all about a celebration of life. You know, and your interact and your relationship with that person and what they learned, you learned from them and they learned from you, and your interactions and your experiences. That's what it's all about. Cheryl, my mom and I just talked about death, trying to ease her fears, and then she had crossed over 2 days later. Oh, there you go, Cheryl. I was happy for her, but I remember saying, really now? Isn't that fascinating? And you were just talking to her about that. It's almost like your instincts, kind of knew, like your intuition knew something, you know, like you were being like, okay, don't leave it any longer. Interesting. I'm so glad that you did have those words with your mother and that they brought you some healing there. So it's like, I just keep thinking, you know, I keep hearing in my head, like, don't avoid those important talks, right? Don't avoid. And again, I'm like, because it was horrific with my parents. They had no plans in place, a lot of arguing. Yeah. So, and again, another thing that's really important, to have your plans in place. Let your loved ones know what you want. Do you want a funeral? Do you want a celebration of life? Do you want a cremation? It's really important to speak about what your wishes are before you are ill, just to give that sense of control, maybe that's the word, to your loved ones that are still here, so that they can focus on what's really important for them and you, rather than running around trying to figure out everything and going bonkers. Yeah. Oh, yes. Isn't that beautiful? I had the same experience with my parents. I was so happy that it's like, this would be something my dad would say. It's like, I bit the bullet and I said, I'm not getting wrapped up in this drama. I can, and then I don't have to feel anything. And then 5 years from now, I'll have some kind of breakdown because I realize I missed my opportunity to be in the moment with my parents, to support them, to feel those emotions, to be in this important transition in their life. So I said, forget the drama. And that's what I did. I was there. I went out of my way. I did everything that I could do, even though I might not have gotten the like, what's the word I'm looking for? What I had hoped for. I didn't get my mom, to sit me down and talk about, how important I was in her life and this and that. That's okay, because I realized I didn't need that. What I needed was to be of service for my parents, to show them how much they meant to me, how much I love them, and how much we'll be reconnected, and that they will be able to communicate with me on the other side. And it was such a blessing. And I really give credit to my guide. My guide really helped me with that, because I had quite a few tears trying to figure out what to do. I would kind of waver between anger and love, anger and love, anger and love. Love won out, I'm happy to say. So please, if there's any kind of message today that you can get, do not put things off. Really take the opportunity, be in the moment, tell your loved one what they mean to you, even if there were hardships, and even if, you felt you were wrong done by, just push that aside, because I can guarantee you that is going to mean nothing to you in the future. But knowing that you were there and you expressed what was coming from your soul, and it was that soul to soul connection, it will mean everything to you. That's what I learned with both my parents transitioning. Ashley, just like the dog from last week, I couldn't fulfill my stepmom's wishes, so that's what I worried about. Right. Absolutely. I understand that. And they came through to tell you, right? You made the right decision. So isn't it just, it's like every day I'm just blown away by the intelligence of the spirit world every day. It's just unbelievable. And that was healing, right? Healing from your parents, bringing you the healing that you needed. And just, again, confirmation, your loved ones in spirit are aware of what you're doing. They're aware of what you're feeling. And they will take any opportunity that they can to help you here on the earth plane. So it's just so beautiful. I told my family that they can do what they felt necessary for their healing, but I do not want her hoping that they pick sometimes I can see more and sometimes I can't. Hi, Shannon. My extended family. Let's see. My youngest daughter, who I said is an old soul, and she's very spiritual. I think she's going to be an awesome medium one day. I think she could surpass me right now, but it's just, she's it's not her time yet. She has things to do. She's only, how old is she? 31. So she supports me. My husband, a little embarrassed, tries to hide it, won't really bring it up. My eldest daughter just listens. Oh, okay. My son, not so much. My sister, actually, my youngest sister, I did see her during the holidays. I invited all my siblings over, first time we were together after the passing of my parents. And she did say to me, you know, are you still doing readings? And it was like a whisper in the corner of the kitchen. And I said yes, so she's kind of interested. So usually what I find with my family, I don't really bring up mediumship too much. I'll bring up, you know, well-being, self-empowerment, healing, all those kind of topics that they find easier to discuss. And I will, my two sisters, even my other siblings, there's 6 of us, I will tell them if I get a sign from one of my parents that I feel is really important, it's for all of us, I will do that. But usually they kind of do their own thing and I do my own thing. That's just the way it is. And that's okay with me. Jessica said, I will say I found my own personal way to honor her life with my daughter. My grandma actually passed on my daughter's 4th birthday, but a few months later, my daughter and I found a meaningful and wonderful way. Oh, that's so beautiful. Absolutely. I find ways to honor everybody, you know, everybody in my life, all of those on the other side, for sure, every day. I'll chat with them. I'll do special things. Absolutely. So important to keep that relationship going. And I can guarantee you that your loved ones in spirit are very aware of that. So important, especially for the younger ones too. And I'll share stories of, like, for example, my grandma had a stroke. Oh, I just found out I was pregnant. I was 29 and my grandma had a stroke. Almost like within days of me finding out I was pregnant. My first child, great-grandchild. And, you know, and then she had another stroke and she was unable to walk, talk, feed herself. She was in a wheelchair. And oh, it was just so devastating for me. All the memories I just had of her cooking and going to the Sunday teas at the church and just all the things that we would do, be in the garden. She could never do with my children. But I know she's there and she's looking over them, and I share with them things that I did with my grandma. And of course, my grandma would come out of the hospital. I believe she lived for at least 10 years, being unable to speak, feed herself or walk. The stroke was quite devastating. But I would talk to her, I would hold her hand, I would dress up the babies and talk to her about the kids. The kids would come and see her. But yeah, that was quite difficult. My grandma's always been a helper for me. She's always around me. And I think I did mention that my grandma did meet my mom when my mom transitioned to assist her on the other side. Let's see if there's any other questions. Look at the time went really fast today. Okay. And just a little reminder here that I'm going to be doing spirit-guided messages today. So I'll ask the spirit to connect with me, and then I'll give some evidence. And if you can take 80 to 100%, if you could say yes. Yeah, isn't that, yes, Dawn. Dawn should say, my dad's grandma came for him too. Absolutely. Your loved ones and spirits will come for your their loved one for sure. They're never alone, never alone. You know, and I really hope one day too, I want to be reunited with my first dog, who I adore and I love. And it's funny because whenever I get a message from a medium, they keep saying, your father's here. And he has this little white dog. It's like, oh, my boy, my little boy. So he always comes through, and I know my dad's taking good care of him. And one day, we'll be playing again together. Can't wait for that day when it's the right time. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Sorry, I'm getting all, yeah. So my intention this evening is to give evidence of the survival of consciousness and messages of love and healing to demonstrate that our relationships are eternal. They're eternal. Your loved ones are around you. They love and miss you, and they wish to communicate with you too. They're aware of what you're doing, and they do check in with you. All right. So I'm just going to get everyone just to kind of just take a deep breath in. A lot of heavy talk tonight. Just inhale, hold. You can put both your hands on your heart if you like. Release any worries, concerns, maybe even emotions that you feel have been blocking you or holding you back. Your day-to-day interactions, your healing. Inhale again, hold, and release. So I'd like you to invite your loved ones in spirit close by. I already know I have quite a few people. They popped in a little earlier for me, and I'm just going to say a little prayer for myself, and then we'll get started. Okay, as I move my mind to the spirit, oh, yes, absolutely, Dawn. Yeah, absolutely. I felt the same with my grandma, with my mom, because my mom had a really dramatic passing, etc. So, okay, as I move my mind to the spirit world, I'm aware of a young man in spirit. I feel that his age is about 18, but it might even be like up to 24, because I'm getting the number 18, I'm getting the number 24. And it's really interesting how he's presenting himself. He's presenting himself like in a winter jacket or like a parka. So there's something really important about the winter season. And I feel like he's showing me a memory, because if I can see him standing there in his jacket, and then when I look behind, it's like I see like a frozen lake. I see like trees, and I'm just having these memories of like doing things in the winter time, like skidooing. Is that what you call it? Skidooing, like in the winter, or skidooing in the snow, like skiing. He just keeps talking. It's like winter, but then at the same time, I'm seeing a frozen lake. Can someone take this young man? Let me see if and it's interesting because he looks healthy. He looks healthy, and he has like a round face, a round healthy face. He's showing me. I don't know if his hair was almost like an auburn color. He's just, I don't know. It's almost like I'm seeing a reddish kind of tinge to his hair. Showing me his gloves. Okay, I feel like he's wearing skiing gloves. I know all of what you said. Oh, Cheryl. Okay, Cheryl. I think I worked with you last week too. All right, something about your energy. All right, so let me just, and he's showing me his gloves. And I know, Believe me, I don't like skiing. I did it once. It was terrifying. And I know they're like skiing gloves. They look like skiing gloves. Okay, let me just see what he wants to say here. He's showing me more memories about the winter. I'm seeing like a toboggan. I'm seeing snowshoes. I'm like, okay, so I got the whole idea about the... Can you take some kind of, I feel like it feels to me like it's some kind of accident. Can you take some kind of accident connected to this young man? Like, why do I see like, I don't know. It's almost like he's showing me something. Yes, I'm seeing like a lack of, like a, lost his balance. I'm just like, arms and legs, like losing balance, falling, tumbling. I'm seeing all that. He's showing me that. Okay. It's funny. He almost has like a sense of humor. Like he's showing me that, but he's almost laughing in a way. Okay, let me just get the words he's saying. He's saying, he's laughing. It's like totally unexpected because I feel that he was like, he had like a lot of, is it experience? Like in the outdoors, and he's saying that was part of the issue. You see, he goes, he's talking about being like overconfident. Does that make sense for him that he was overconfident and he was looking for like the next best, like experience? Like, what do you call that? I don't want to use the word high because it sounds like I'm talking about drugs, but like the adventure of doing something exciting. So it's like, I push the limits, I push the limits, I push, he keeps saying that, I push the limits, I push the limits. Is this accident connected to skiing? I don't know, he keeps showing me skiing and a hill. I don't want to say a hill, I want to say almost like a mountain, a daredevil, yeah. Because I'm seeing skiing and it's like, it's almost like a mountain. It's like, whoa, I know I would never go on that. So he's talking about that, okay. And then he's, okay, he's bringing like the Frank Sinatra song forward. He's saying like, I did it my way. I did it my way. I did it my way. Okay. I don't know. He's talking about snapping, like snapping of bones, snapping of bones. Can you take that? It's like snapping. Why is he like snapping? I feel like it's like bones, snapping of bones. Yes, okay. Is there some connection to his collarbone? I don't know why he's saying collarbone. I'm getting collarbone, I'm getting neck, collarbone, neck. Like collarbone, neck, shoulders. It's like he's showing me all his upper. Okay, I'm just going to share. It's like he's talking something about isolation. Do you understand this? Was he like in an isolated area where he was doing this? Like, I don't feel like it was like a public skiing place. Why does he make me feel like that? Because he keeps saying isolation, isolated, like an isolated area. I kind of feel like isolated area, and he didn't get, what is it? He didn't get the help he needed right away. It took so long, Something about isolated area. He just keeps, yes, it was in the word. Okay, thank you. Because he just keeps talking about, like, couldn't get to me. I keep hearing that. Okay. I also feel like, was he with his best friend? I keep hearing best friend. Was he with his best friend? There's something about best friend. I keep hearing him say best friend. Okay. Best friend. Okay. I'll see. Yes, he was. Okay, thank you. Then it's like, oh, sorry, he's just showing me he's like showing me a movie of it all. So I'm seeing the panic, blah, 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 the panic, blah, 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 the panic. Okay. Yeah, I don't have to relay all that part, but they're just showing me like in a movie there, all that. Um, can you take that, Cheryl, that the month of October is significant for this young man? October, possibly, I don't know, a birthday, or there's an October birthday connected to this. I just keep getting October. So I'm just gonna, October, it's almost like October, November. And it's interesting because for some reason, I'm just feeling into the relationship, Cheryl, with you and this young man. And I really want to say son, but I might be off on son. Like it may be like a nephew. Can you confirm, is this your son? Oh, thank you. His grandma died. So that's why I sing October. Thank you. Is this your son, Cheryl? Husband. Okay, thank you. I knew I wasn't getting that right, so I apologize. Okay. Okay. It's because his youthful, so youthful, the energy. Okay, I understand. Okay. Okay, I know you brought up grandmother, and I know he brought up October for a reason, because he's just confirming that your grandmother is there. And I don't know, I almost feel like he didn't know, did he not know your grandmother very well? There's something about that, he's getting to know her better now. He's just saying that to me. I'm getting to know her better now, almost like building that relationship, that bond with her now. It's almost like on a deeper level, he's saying. Isn't that interesting? So he wants you to know that. Okay. I'm just going to see what the messages he has for you. He has a good sense of humor. He just keeps, he's talking about you, and he's saying you're the shining light. You understand that? And he's talking about the shining light in terms of like, you draw spirit to you. It's something about your shining light. And he's laughing. And he's laughing because it's like we're drawn to your light. You have that shining light. Spirit's drawn to you. And he's just smiling. And he's smiling like this is kind of funny, but he's smiling in the same way that he's proud. And again, he's just saying, I want you to continue your journey. Continue your journey. I'm supporting you in that. We're all supporting you in that. Remember the lessons you learned. Remember, they're going to be important. Remember the lessons you learned. Keep saying that. The lessons that you're learning, the lessons that you learned. And it's like what we were talking about earlier about passings. He's saying, remember those lessons about passings and your experience with them, because they're going to serve you well. And oh, his son. Okay. It's weird. He's using the word chipper. I don't know what chipper means. I don't know if he's saying like chipper personality, or like he's a chip off this whole block. Okay, chipper. What's chipper mean? Okay. It's like he's just reconfirming that he's going to be fine. He's saying that. He's going to be fine. It's like he has everything he needs. He's saying it just like that. He has everything he needs. And there's something about he wants you to take him on your journey. Does that make sense to you, Cheryl? It's almost something about you and your son doing something together, like a journey together. He's saying, I want you to take him along on your journey with you. And I feel this is like multi-leveled. I think it's like grieving, learning, and it's like spiritual too, because there's some kind of spiritual, okay, that's what he wanted me to say. What is it with this boy? Okay, I'm just gonna, what I'm getting, I'm just feeling an awful lot of green around your son. So me, green is healing. So I feel he has this healing energy around him. It's like he has this healing potential. It's like this, I just keep getting healing. And it's like healing, and it's like, I don't know, it's like hands-on healing. I don't know if he's considering or may want to do something like being a chiropractor or something about touching people and helping them to heal. I'm getting like a future job, like chiropractor. I don't know what you call people, like an orthopedic surgeon, someone that realigns bones. So it's something about his hands and having the ability like to realign energy, the flow. And that's what he's telling me. So that might be something for him to consider. Yeah. And I'm gonna, and there's some fascinating people like online, and I'm sorry, I can't remember anyone's name right now. I think there's one gentleman, and I believe he's in Australia, and I believe he's a remote healer. He's fascinating if you want to look at that, or maybe let him look at that. And you know, I just see his hands. I see him holding crystals. There's something about his hands. So I'm just going to leave you with all their love, your husband and your grandma. Thank you so much for working with me, Cheryl. And I'll just let you know that this young man came in this afternoon when I was meditating. I was like, poof, your husband. I'm so sorry. I keep calling him young man because he showed himself very, your husband. He just came in. I meditated. There he was standing there. I'm like, okay. I see you. You gotta wait. I'll see you in a bit. And he came back. So that was awesome. Okay. And as I move my mind again to, let me just make sure he's gone. Okay. Boy, he loves the outdoors. He's just showing me those serene scenes, so serene. And the peace, I know he wants you. He wants you to do that. He wants you to go back to the woods. Okay. All right. Okay, as I move my mind to the spirit world, I feel I have a mother in spirit, and she's talking about gingerbread. This is funny. She's talking about gingerbread and cinnamon. And I don't know if you put cinnamon in gingerbread. I thought it was ginger, but it's almost like cinnamon was her secret ingredients for cooking, or something that she made. And then she's showing me, and this could be I don't know if it's a memory of you or something that just happened during the past holidays, but she's showing me like children playing with gingerbread people, like playing, you know, like you would make the gingerbread people, then you decorate, and then they're playing, hi, how are you, like talking. So she's showing me this memory of playing with gingerbread people. So it's a real big focus on gingerbread, cinnamon, playing with gingerbread people. And I definitely feel like a mother energy. It could be grandmother, because sometimes I get them a little, they overlap for me. Let me see. And she's talking about the kitchen. She's talking about the kitchen table, how important the kitchen table was. It's like everything at the kitchen table, everything at the kitchen table. It's like big bowl, stirring, baking, decorating, chatting, tears, tea. She's just saying everything happened at the kitchen table. So this would be a loved one in spirit who gave a lot of support, love, nurturing, and this all seemed to be happening at their kitchen table because she keeps showing me this kitchen table. Okay, let me just see what else she wants to talk about here. And she's talking about the little things. She's saying it's the little things that matter. So she's like, this is part of her message. She's like don't get in your head about big things. Don't get in your head about big things. They're of no value whatsoever. You won't even remember them in a few years. She's saying, remember the little things. Remember the little things. And little things she's highlighting for me are things like bringing somebody a cup of coffee, making them breakfast, something about shoes. What's with the shoes? It's almost like putting out shoes. I'm not sure what that really means. Putting out their shoes. Almost like putting out their shoes like near the front door. Like instead of being in the closet, the shoes are right there. So you're ready to get in the shoes and leave. Brushing hair. She's talking about brushing hair is important. And it's interesting because she's showing me, I feel that it's her hair. I think this was like closer to her passing. And her hair feels like it's all, like it's not silky and straight and shiny. It almost seems like kind of like fuzzy and kind of thinning and almost kind of matted. And I'm seeing like brushing out the hair, smoothing out the hair. And she's thanking you for that. She's thanking you. Like it's what's she saying? And she's associating love with like the brushing out of the hair, right? That's the little things that count, right? The brushing out of the hair. It's okay, Mom. Patting the hand. And I'm seeing like an older hand, kind of wrinkled and just like, the warmth of your hand. It's okay, Mom. Everything's okay. And I'm just seeing the touching of the hands. That's another little thing that makes a difference. Let me see what else she wants to talk about. She wants to acknowledge the little. Okay, I understand. She's saying little things, but she's saying the little things are the big things. Like you might say, oh, I didn't do that. I wasn't able to do that, blah, 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 blah. Like you're beating yourself up. I couldn't do the big things for her. But she's saying that those little things you did were the big things. That's how she's saying. She's like turning it around. She wants you to know those were big things for her. It brought her the comfort, the nurturing, the love, the warmth, and something about health. Like it helped her to feel good. Do you understand? Like to feel, yeah, I don't know if the word is good, but do you know what I mean? To feel kind of like grounded in her body, be aware of where she was in that moment instead of her mind going to other things. It's like my hair's brushed, I've been fed. I feel like she's talking about pajamas, like her pajamas were changed, wearing slippers. So she's kind of talking about the day-to-day taking care of her. Siobhan, can you take some of those things that I talked about? I really felt it was a mother. And she's talking about the things that you did for her in like her care. It almost feels like day-to-day care. that you did for her. Sorry, my dog's barking. Let's just see what else she wants to say. Okay. Dementia. My mom and I took care of for a couple of years before going into... Okay, that was Jessica. Okay. I just want to make sure you can... Okay. Can you take... Gingerbread is a biggie. Gingerbread, baking, cookies, cinnamon, something about secret ingredient, because that's how she got my attention. She's showing me this kitchen. She's showing me this table. You can take some of that, Siobhan? Okay. Jackie, could be my mom. Okay. Okay. She's showing me that it's like things took place at that table, like big things, like crying, I'm worried, I don't know what to do. I almost feel like there was a conversation like about money. Almost like, I want to say love life, your relationships, like everything took place at that table. She's just talking about that table. Why does she keep talking about the table? Always in the kitchen. That's Jessica. Okay, your grandmother. Okay. Maybe that's why she's not giving me an awful lot of information. She just keeps going back to the kitchen, the gingerbread, the table. It's like I just keep going back there. And then she's talking about the things that she wants to acknowledge, the things that you did for her. Oh, I understand. Okay. It's almost like when I was talking about, you know, the things that you did for her that made her feel good. It's almost, I don't know why she's giving me the word lucid. Can you take, okay, don't know about the gingerbread. That's okay. At her table, Jessica. Okay. I feel it's Jessica, so I'm gonna just work with Jessica. The hairbrush, I still have her. Oh no. All right, hold on, give me a minute here. Always in the kitchen. We always made sure her hair. Okay, good. So Jessica can take the hair too, because that was really important. She was saying that, and it was. And Jessica, can you take? I know you spoke about dementia. You gave me that piece of evidence, but could you take also that she had moments where she would be lucid, like you're like, oh, almost like, oh, she's getting better, and then it would kind of like disappear again. Can you take that, Jessica? Because it's almost like she keeps going about like it made her feel good, it made her feel lucid. It's okay. And there's some connection to, she's telling me some connection to the brushing or the stroking of the hair, her hair, and your mother. Can you take that? And I feel that your grandmother would do the same thing for your mother. Like I can see her, like when she was, like I just see her like brushing your mother's hair, and then I see, I feel like it's almost like a braiding. Did her hair every day. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. She just wants to acknowledge your mother because she doesn't want your mother to feel, I feel like she's still holding some kind of, like, I don't know, I'm using the word remorse, like remorse or some kind of guilt, like something almost like, maybe that's not the right word. It's because she's saying to me, it's like your mom keeps going through her head, like, why did it have to be like this? Why did it have to be like this? In terms, I think of like the dementia, like why did it? And your mom's still thinking about that, like almost like, you know, it wasn't fair that this is the way that things played out. I don't understand, blah, blah, blah. She was my dad's mom. I was the first girl she was able to. Oh, okay. Now, Jessica, thank you, but you're giving me way too much information. Don't give me any more information, because I could probably be getting to that eventually. But she wants to talk about your mom, and she's just saying how your mom, yes, because she in 24 hours came to my mom and dad out of. Okay. Because it's like, you're like, why did it, like your mom, and your mom's still, it's still going through her mind, because your grandmother's acknowledging this. It's almost like she hasn't reconciled all the things that kind of like went down, all the things that had to be done. It was all, I almost feel like a sense like your grandma's feeling like so overwhelmed. Now she's processing all that stuff, because you know, you just got to do it. I can't question it. I just got to do what got to be done. I got to help my mom. I got to help my mom. So now that, you know, your grandma's transitioned, etc. Now she's saying like, now she's processing all this. Okay. So she's aware of that. And it's like your grandmother's coming through and she's saying, you know, I'm coming to give you peace of mind. And then she smiles. Because she's just, you know, her feelings are, she's making that connection, how your mom gave her peace of mind. Now she's coming to give your mom peace of mind, and to let her know that all is okay. All is okay. Just that everything was as needed to be. It's like, oh my goodness. She's almost saying like, honey, I know you go to the ends of the earth for me. Went to the ends of the earth, went to the ends of the earth. And she's saying it just like that, went to the ends of the earth. And now she's just saying now it's your time. Now it's your turn. Yeah. Yeah. She's saying now it's your time. Now it's your turn. So your grandmother keeps talking about self-care. Do you understand that? And it's complicated, Jessica. Oh, yeah. And it's like your grandmother's almost saying like it's multi-level. Do you understand this? Like she was in this situation where she had no choice. And you know, when you're like your adrenaline, you just got to do what you got to do. You just got to do what you got to, and then you do that. And then it's almost like now there's another layer to pull back, right? In kind of the whole trauma. So now it's like, you feel guilty, like, oh, maybe I should have done more. Maybe if I had done this, maybe. And then you feel like anger, and you go kind of back and forth, back and forth. And I'm going to tell you that, you know, this guilt and this anger and all those things, that's a normal part of the grieving process, right? As you kind of go to the next level. And your grandmother's just say she's there and she's supporting her with this. And she knows this, that she's going through this. And that's why she's coming through. It's funny. She's calling you the perfect little girl, the perfect little girl, perfect little girl. She keeps saying that. The perfect little girl, the perfect little girl. Is there some challenge with like a sibling, a sister? Is your mother having some kind of, I feel there's something with a sibling, like why does it feel like a woman? Yes, okay, because she's sick. Okay. And she's just, it's like your grandmother's just acknowledging, like she was never one to, she's saying, okay, you have to understand her disposition. She was never one to come forward. Do you understand that? It was almost like she avoided or didn't learn how to take on a leadership role. I don't know if there's manipulation there in some way on her part. It might look like that, but it was almost like, it was like always kind of like, I'm feeling like your mother stepping up to the plate. Your mother stepping up to the plate. And your grandma's saying, mark my words. And she's saying it just like this. Mark my words. She's saying she will come around. And I feel it's your mother's sister. It's like, mark my words, she will come around. And it's something about her own grieving and her process, and that eventually she's going to make some kind of amends, to your mother. And then your grandma's smiling. It's almost like she's pulling some strings. You know what I mean? Like working behind the in the background to try and kind of bring them together. But right now she's saying it's almost like two eggs in their own basket. You know what I mean? We can't put them in the same basket yet. She's got to do her thing. She's got to do her thing, but it's going to come together. She's just saying that it's going to come together. You've just got to have the faith. You've got to believe it's going to come together, because she's saying you need each other. You need each other. So she's saying that the sisters, they need each other. So there's something that it's almost like she's showing me almost like a puzzle piece, like they fit together and like almost like make each other whole. So that's really important to know that. Okay, let me just see if there's final message. Okay. Your grandma's showing me it's either a shawl or a blanket that's of significance. Can you take, I almost feel like it was knitted. Why do I feel like it was knitted? Does your mother or do you yourself have like a shawl or a blanket that belonged to your grandmother? She's just, there's some kind of significance to this because she's showing it around her shoulders, that there's some kind of significance to this. So, okay. All right, there you go. That's exactly what she was showing me. Okay, so that's just to confirm that it's your grandma there. So, she's just saying again, she's just saying peace of mind, peace of mind. And it's funny, your grandma's saying to your mom, it's almost like when you sleep, when you're in your dreams, I'm going to hug you. It's like she wants to hug your mom. There's something about hugs, your grandma, and hugging. It's like she's going to hug your mom. Almost like when she was a young girl, you know, when she had tears or she fell down or she was concerned about something. It's like she's going to like, it's almost like, you know, she's got your mother in her shoulders and she's just helping her to have that peace of mind and to bring that healing into moving forward on her grieving journey. Yeah, so just be aware of dreams of your grandma for your mom, because I think she's going to be there. She's going to be there, nurturing, loving, and supporting her. And I'm going to leave you with all her love. Oh, that was so beautiful. I'm so glad that we were able to connect with her. All right. Okay, and I have, I'll try one more loved one in spirit here. And I have I feel it's middle-aged man, might be later 50s, larger man. He says he was a father, and he's giving me the number 333. And he's talking about being a handyman. Handyman. He's using those words, handyman. Okay. Is that my dad? Dawn, are you saying it sounds like your dad? Or are you asking me? There's no question mark. Okay. So you feel that's your dad, Dawn? Okay. Okay. So Dawn. Okay. Just give me a minute here. Was he, okay, I'm not sure what he's trying to show me here. First of all, this gentleman's showing me a ladder. And it's almost like he's giving references to Abbott and Costello. Do you understand this? It's almost like he'd have a ladder, he'd put it somewhere, but it wasn't the best place to put it. Do you know what I mean? Like something about tools and not as organized as they should be. Or what are you trying to tell me here? something about tools and like laughing. I don't know why he's talking about a ladder, not putting the ladder in the best place. Like, instead of putting it away, he would just lean it against a wall. Okay. He's talking about like a drill. I got a drill, but I can't find the battery pack or the power pack, he's saying. It's I don't know. Can either of you take that? That he was, it's almost like a handy man, but he would have funny little stories or incidences that would happen. I don't know. It's almost like he's misplacing things. He doesn't know where things are. Does that make sense to either of you, Dawn? Oh, Shannon too. Okay. It's like, what's going on here, buddy? Okay. I feel that he wore work boots. He's showing me his work boots. He's a nice guy. Everybody liked him. Very social. Nice guy. But it's almost like he's saying, he wasn't the smartest. He wasn't a real intellect. Can you take that? There's something about not being the smartest. He's saying, I wasn't the smartest tool in the tool shed. Okay, so I know he has a good sense of humor. I wasn't the smartest. He says, I tended to like to take shortcuts, and that would get me into trouble sometimes. Okay, Ashley, okay. Can you take that he would take shortcuts? Maybe it's because he's talking about shortcuts. And then he's laughing. He says, if you want to be a handyman, don't be a perfectionist. He's saying it just like that. You got to let things go. Let things go. Okay, I understand. So this is part of the message. Something about letting things go. Letting things go. Okay, hold on one moment here. Whoa. Okay. He's saying, like, if I want to, I could be if I wanted to, I could be a real stickler. I could be a real pain in the butt. But if there's anything I learned as I aged and my health deteriorated, there's some things you just gotta let go. They're not that important. Just let it go. Okay, the table's standing up. There's 4 legs. We got a screw missing. Who cares? He's saying it like that. The screen door's squeaky. Who cares? The door opens and closes. So he's talking about Dawn saying, oh, yes. Okay. So it's almost like, who cares? Who cares? Like, what is it that people focus on? There's something about that really, and I think it's, Dawn might have said that, it's something about annoyed him about people, because he's bringing that up, and he keeps saying, like, who cares? What's wrong with you? He keeps saying that. Who cares? You just can't, okay. Like the things that people would obsess about. And I feel like he might fix something and then there'd be a little scratch or a little dent or it was a little off or like the joist. I don't know, he's using the word joist. I don't even know what a joist does. The joist was off or something. And he's thinking in his head like, who cares? Really? Who cares? Okay. So talking about people being very... what is the word? Like he's using the word like uptight. And he goes, that's when I start to lose some of my passion for the work. Does that make sense to you, Dawn? Something about losing passion for the work. is it people who are like becoming more demanding, more, I almost want to use the word kind of like, you know, like anal, like they have a whole checklist. Yeah, later on. Because it's like he goes, who cares? Who cares? It's almost like things that he took pride in were, I don't want to say that the people stole it from him, but there's something about some of the joy was lost in that being of service to others and doing a good job. Yeah, okay. Can you also, I also feel there's something about money, like people, I don't know, bartering, talking him down, that's too much, blah, blah, blah. There's something about money too. Money as well as like the finished product. Because he's just telling me like a lot of things that were kind of weighing on him, like, oh, I'm losing the joy for this. I'm losing the joy for this. Okay, let me see what he wants to talk about here. Can you take, he's showing me a memory, and he's showing me a memory of him sitting in a chair, and he's almost like pointing and telling people to kind of, can you do this? Can you do that? I don't want to use the word ordering, but that's what it felt like when I saw him sitting in this big chair and he's like pointing to things, almost like, oh, and this and that and this. Almost like he spent a lot of time in his later years sitting in a chair and kind of always giving people breaks on his work. Yeah, absolutely. He may be. And you know, he's saying, yeah, I had a good heart. But he goes, I didn't realize by giving so much, sometimes it takes a little bit of the joy out because I'm not getting what I'm valued. You know, like a lot of times people say, oh, it's okay, don't pay me. But it's like that proper exchange of energy, right? For good work, receiving the money. Yeah. And he's saying that's what took some of the joy out of it for him, because he didn't get, and there you go, he's talking about respect now. He felt he didn't get the respect that he deserved. He's saying it like that. I didn't get the respect I deserved. It's funny, it's like it takes a little shine off, you know? It takes a little shine off you. I'm not as shiny as I was before. Yeah, I understand. Okay. Here's a real thing about something about disappointment. He wants me to talk about disappointment. Can you take, Dawn, that your father had some disappointment with a family member? Was there some disappointment in the interactions or relationship with a family member? It's like disappointment. It's almost like he's bringing me to like his customers and almost like bringing it over here. He's moving it to focus on something else. Is there some kind of disappointment that resonates with you with your father? I don't know. I feel disappointment. And I definitely feel like a male. I feel some kind of disappointment and a male. I don't know if he had a partner in his work, or someone he sold the business to, or someone took over the business. So he's just saying some kind of disappointment, like I didn't think it would be like this. Oh, you're okay, because there's just some kind of disappointment there, like almost like he thought he would still be more involved than he was, or people would ask his advice, or so he's kind of disappointed that it didn't pan out that way. He's just saying that. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, let me just see Jessica if I have what he wants to say. Wow, his work was really important too, because he's still talking about his work. He's still talking about his work. I know he worked a lot. He put a lot into his work. A lot of pride in his work. It was very important to him. And it's like he's saying to me, it's like when I couldn't do the work anymore, he took that almost as like a sign. Your brother. Okay, thank you. Can you take that? It's almost like when he couldn't do the work anymore, he like took it as a sign, like I'm aging, there's not much time left, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to say this, Dawn, because I don't want to hold back. Can you take that in some sense that your brother kind of, what were the words he used? It's almost like dug the business into the ground. I don't know if that was exactly what he said. Oh, okay. Okay. So it's like, because of that, it's almost like it disappeared. Like, okay, I think that's what I was trying to say with those words he gave me. Like dug it into the ground. Like it died with him kind of thing. Okay, I understand. He's saying, then it was difficult, but now he's saying, now on the other side, I'm aware that people have to take their own path. And he's just saying, kudos to him because he's saying like kudos to him because he stood up to his old man. He's saying it like that. So there's forgiveness in those words. And I think that's why he's coming through for this male, because I could just feel this switch over. Yeah. No, he's acknowledging that. He's saying that's what he learned on the other side, that people do have to take their own path. And he's saying my expectations can't be someone else's purpose. Do you understand that? He's saying it like that. Whoa, okay, he wants to talk about expectations. Very interesting. He's saying, did you know that expectations can be deadly? I don't know why he's putting those two things together, deadly expectations. He goes, I know that now. Don't expect things from people. He's saying, speak up, speak your mind, speak your peace. Expectations aren't good. They just block you. They're like a dam. They dam up your emotions. It's not good. Not good. Can make you sick. He's saying it just like that. Dawn, is there someone right now in your life that you need to communicate with in a more clearer manner? I don't know why he's drawing my attention to you now in terms of expectation and speaking about what you need. And it's almost like, don't get wrapped up in expectations. Do you understand that? Because you think things should be a certain way and your mind is looking over here thinking, oh, this, and you're not even seeing what's happening right here. So that's what your father is sharing with you. So he's just giving you a reminder about that. Like, be aware of your expectations, and just move from expectations and what you think things should be to what is happening right now. That's what he's saying. And he's giving you flowers. He's giving you flowers. He's like, honey, you deserve these flowers. So he's giving you these flowers. They almost seem like they aren't roses. I almost want to say sunflower. They almost seem like wildflowers or meadow flowers. And they're more significant, he says, because he picked them specifically for you. If you can understand that, Dawn. It's like, I picked them for you. Anyone can go to a store and just, here. He goes, but I picked these for you, here. And he's like, here, he's giving you these flowers. So he's acknowledging that all that you've done for the family. And he just wants me to say too, he wants me to say, like, you're a good daughter. He's saying that, a good daughter, a good daughter. Now he's just saying kind, generous, loving. So he's just sharing all those things. Do you, marigolds, there you go. Yeah, I saw that kind of like yellow-orange. Thank you. Okay. He's showing me a photo. I feel it's a photo of you and your father. Do you have like a favorite photo? It feels like it's framed and it's somewhere. It's you and your dad. He's just showing me this. He's showing me a photo of you and your dad. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. So you want to, okay. And it's like, in this photo, I almost feel like, I don't know if you're sitting on this lap or like the edge of a chair, but I know that you're close. You're close. And he's seated and you're like close beside him. So he's just bringing my mind to a photograph and a memory of that kind of situation. Okay. You still have your father's tools or some of his tools. I don't know why he's talking about a screwdriver. He's talking about a screwdriver. So you may have recently used one of his tools, or you used a screwdriver. He's just talking about some of the tools. You have some of the tools still. But I think the tools are pretty like practical tools, because he's talking like screwdriver, like hammer. Okay, good. Because he's really happy about that. Okay, there's, Dawn, maybe when you have a time, maybe if you look at family photos or whatever, just look to see if you can find a photo of you and your dad together. I just feel it's like you and your dad together. Might be a special occasion, like it's his birthday. And I just see you sitting on the edge of the chair. I don't know why he's showing me that. It's like a big comfy chair, like you're on the arm of the chair, sitting beside him. And it's important. It's really important, this event where this photo was taken. I feel it might have been like a birthday or some kind of celebration. So just look for that in case you come across that. Okay. All right. And yeah, I'm just going to wrap it up now. So he just wants to reconfirm that you'll get the message to your brother, because it's really important to know that. And I feel it's really important. Your mother, I'm just feeling into your mother. Is your mother still here, Dawn? Because he's just bringing, all of a sudden he's bringing up mother. I'm just hearing mother, mother. So I'm just trying to get him to, okay, 86th birthday. Okay. All right. So he's just acknowledging mother. Okay. And he's laughing. Like, is she a very, it's weird, the word he's using. I don't even, like has a lot of energy, like still getting around, and like for her age. He's kind of laughing about that. Like she has like a lot of, the the word isn't gusto, but like she still is very spry, like can get around still. He's giving me that impression. And he's saying, you know, you let her know. You let her know that I come and I visit her. You let her know. And I feel like he was there at the birthday, because he kept saying, like earlier with the chair and the celebration, he's like, you let her know. I was there. I'm always checking in on her. He's just acknowledging, yeah, there you go, yeah. He's just acknowledging, wow, that's amazing. Oh my God, because he's just acknowledging his love for her. And he's saying, you know, we were two peas in a pod. It's like, you know, if it was, you know, if they had been born or married at a later age, they would have been like one of those renovation couples, you know what I mean? How you buy homes and you fix them up and then she would sell them. He's just laughing about that. That we could have done that. We could have done that. A good team, a good team. And he's calling her like a short name. It's like, I love you. I don't know. I'll tell you the name I thought I was here. It almost felt like, I love you, Gloria. I love Gloria. I love you. And then he's saying a name. Okay. So I'm just going to leave you with all his love, and to give those messages to your brother and your mother for him. Yeah, 36 years. Wow. Okay. And like he's saying it just like yesterday. He's saying it just like yesterday. And I know exactly what's going on. So don't question any of these things. And and she's still a beautiful woman. She's still a beautiful woman. And he's saying she can turn ahead. So there's some funny story about she can turn ahead. So I feel she would dress very nicely, very professional. She can still turn ahead. And something in Polish nickname. Oh, okay, thank you. I couldn't quite, I had to grab a name because I didn't know what it was. Okay, so thank you so much, Dawn, for letting me work with your father. And please give those messages of love. Oh, give those messages of love to your brother and to your mom. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. So I just wanted to thank everybody for coming this evening. And just a reminder that our relationships are eternal, that your loved ones in spirit are definitely aware of what you're doing. And it doesn't matter if it's been 36 years, if it's been 3 years, they're aware of what you're doing. And they do wish to communicate with you. So do not forget that. And I just wanted to remind everybody, if you're interested in taking a mediumship development course, my beginner's class starts this Sunday. Yahoo! My beginner's class starts on Sunday. My advanced class is in February. And actually this Sunday morning, I'm going to be at a spiritual church speaking and demonstrating mediumship. So I'm really excited. I got a busy week coming up. So thank you everyone for being here. And just a reminder to keep your heart brave and your imagination wild, because anything is possible. And God bless you all for supporting your loved ones in transition and for reaching out and communicating with them. Even if you didn't get a message today, think about some of the messages that were given. And if you can take any part of that message, please do, because I know there are many more loved ones in spirit here viewing and watching. So we had the digital audience and the spiritual audience too. So thank you everyone, and I'll see you again next week. So lots of love. Yes, full moon blessings. Don't forget to put your crystals out in the moonlight. Oh, that's so nice. Siobhan says, thank you. I always get something out of every reading you do. Oh, thank you so much. Goodbye, Dawn. Take care. Bye, everyone. Lots of love.